rolling.
Okay, so today we're making a plant stand. Now my wife and I went into West Elm the other day, just looking around to get some ideas, and I saw this plant stand that looked easy enough to make. And it is, it's really not too tough. However, there's a couple of things to keep in mind when you're making it. One, you gotta cut circles, which can be a little tricky depending on how you wanna do it. I used a jigsaw to cut these circles with, and then I also used a Dremel tool to cut a circle with. Two different ways. The Dremel tool actually has an accessory on it for circle cutting, which worked really, really well. You have to take your time when making those circles, whereas a jigsaw tends to kind of cut on a slant. Most of the time with the jigsaw, because the blade can tend to bend, it can make it a little tricky to cut a perfectly straight circle. However, once you get that down, it's pretty easy to see how this is constructed. What we ended up doing though was creating 3 circles, 2 of which have a hole in them, and there's one at the bottom, one at the top, and then a middle piece which is solid, and that holds the plant in place. After we assembled everything, we ended up using this polyurethane. This is just a water-based satin polyurethane to coat it with, so in case it got wet or anything like that, you could easily wipe it down. So to start, what we ended up doing was we got one board, and I'll show you here what it looks like. You can see this one I actually used the Dremel tool to cut out the 3 circles. Basically, it's a 3-foot board that's 12 inches wide because we're going to make 12-inch circles. For the jigsaw, what I ended up doing was I ended up cutting the board into 3 separate squares that I drew the circles on, and then cut the circles out with the jigsaw. So 2 different ways of doing it. But the end goal is we need 3 circles. So you get one of these boards, about $9. And then you need about 8 of these slats. Now this is just a corner bead. And actually what you're seeing here is the back side of that corner bead. I'll show you one of these right here. This is basically a cutoff section of it. This is what you would use if you were going to basically, you know, put it in a corner, either at a baseboard or up on a ceiling or something like that. If you're doing furniture, cabinetry, that's what this is intended for. It's got a slight groove in it here, and then you have a beveled edge on either side, and that's because it's meant to sit in a corner. For this project, that's perfect because what we want to do is sort of mimic the look of the plant stand that we saw at West Elm. Hopefully they don't come after me for trying to recreate a beautiful piece, but at any rate, this works great for 2 different reasons. One, we get the beveled edge on the side that we really, really love about this piece, and we don't have to cut it. So buying these, that's one thing we don't have to do. The other part is because we're going to be applying them around this rounded edge, this groove actually comes in really handy because it's not a flat edge, you know, that sits against the circle per se. It actually sits in really, really nicely. But essentially at the end of the day, this is just glued and assembled with 18 gauge brad nails, about 1-inch brad nails, and wood glue. Now to start this build, the first thing I did was I cut the circles using a jigsaw. You can also use the Dremel tool. Either way works really well for cutting the circles in the dimensions that we want, which is 12-inch wide, and then for the holes here, we have them 1 inch around. So basically it's a radius, 6-inch radius or 12-inch diameter, and then on the inside we have a 5-inch radius. After doing that, the next thing that I did was I took these slats. Now we needed 8 total, 8-foot slats. It's perfect for this particular design. What I ended up doing was I measured them 29 inches and then cut them into 3. You can get 3 slats per 8-foot board. So to cut the slats, I ended up grouping them together and cutting them on my miter saw. So I cut them in groups of 3s, and that made it go a little bit quicker. Again, you can use a circular saw or whatever you feel comfortable with cutting the slats, but since I had a miter saw on hand, that seemed to work best. Now you can make this as tall or short as you want. Just keep in mind that depending on how tall you make it, you may not be able to get a full 3 and you might need more slats. But for this particular project, 29 inches, we were able to get 3 slats per board, so a total of 8 boards and 24 slats all the way around. The way that I ended up determining how to evenly space these was we divided up our circle into eighths. So once we have our center point, and you can use a square, what have you. You just want to be able to find the center part of the board. Once you have that center line drawn, you're going to take your square here, line that up, right? So now we've got basically across, we've divided this circle into fours, just like our pizza. But to divide it into eighths, what I ended up doing was just taking a simple sheet of paper so that I wouldn't have to do any complicated math. I marked where these two end lines meet and then basically just folded it over one side to the other. Once folded, I could tell exactly where it was that the middle was going to intersect, and so I'd do the same thing on the other side. There and there, and it should be on that same fold. That there's the middle. And then we'll do it over here as well. From this point to this point, there's our middle. And then on the opposite side. Now, once we have this divided into eighths, that makes it really easy to start assembling the piece together. All right. So now that we have the circle divided into eighths, I transferred that to both of our top and bottom circles as well. Now, to make sure I had this board 7 inches down, and we determined 7 inches down was a good spot because of the size of a typical pot that you would put a plant in. Basically, I laid all these out on a table, and then I just measured 7 inches and drew a line. That way, and you can kind of see on the inside, whenever I started assembling it together, I was keeping this board level with all the rest. So essentially, what you do is you start with your top ring and started assembling it in fourths. So basically, I started with one line, used some wood glue and a brad nail to attach here and here, and add a brad nail and glue to 4 of your slats. It's going to be a little cumbersome at first. You flip it over and then attach your bottom ring the exact same way. Once you have that done, then you can attach 4 more and away you go. It's basically from that point, all you're doing is gluing and nailing. The one thing to keep in mind is just the length of the nail, to make sure that you're watching that so that when you're applying it, the boards don't split. Now, once all 8 slats are glued and nailed up around the stand, we can start filling in the remaining gaps with 2 slats per gap. And we're just going to eyeball it, but basically it should be a little under an inch in between each one of those slats. Once we have those glued and nailed all the way around the piece, we can go ahead and start filling in the nail holes and doing a final sanding before applying our finish. I ended up sanding with a 220 grit and a sanding block on the slats, and then a orbital sander around the top to kind of bevel the edge and make sure everything was nice and smooth. For the finish, I ended up just treating it with a water-based polyurethane in a clear satin. I really like that finish. That's sort of one of my go-tos because it doesn't have a lot of sheen, but it also gives it that water protection, especially since this is a plant stand and will probably have water on it. It's going to protect the wood and give it a nice look. And that's all for this tutorial. I really hope you enjoyed it. As you can see, the plant stand now has its final home in our home office, and I think it looks great. It turned out really kind of exceeded my expectations for this particular dupe. If there's anything that you can think of that you'd like for me to make, or maybe a dupe that you want me to try, I'm always up for a challenge, so drop that in the comment section below. Until next time, y'all have a good one.